Booktube! My name is Sarah and welcome to the Bookish Knitter. Today I'm coming to you with my December 2024 TBR. Say it with me, everybody. It's TBR time. Yay! And it's my December TBR. The Christmas tree is here. Sorry the lighting's not the greatest in here right now. I'm still working on fixing that. I don't remember what I did when I filmed here before. It feels like it's been forever since I have filmed here and not in a hospital. So I'm working on it. So I have a relatively large TBR, no shock. I think there's 31 books, maybe more. I do have some Baby Stars Club books. I'm not going to share those with you. Those I just kind of read as I go. But yeah, I think it's like 30 or 31 books here. Am I going to get through all these? Probably not. Am I going to make a valiant effort? Yes, I am. I am going to be listening to a lot of these on audio, and I'm very excited about that. I'm really enjoying the audiobook experience again and being able to do some crafting and stuff while I'm doing that. It's absolutely delightful. So I'm going to go through all these books. I don't know necessarily what all of them are about, but I'm going to list them all in the description box below if you guys want to go and check any of them out for yourselves. And also, I'm going to share with you which books I actually own and which I'm borrowing, because as of December 1st, of course, I am starting the Read What You Own challenge. Just let me move this over just a little bit, just so I can put the pictures of the books up here that I don't have physically. The Read What You Own challenge. So I will be sharing with you which ones I own and which ones I'm borrowing. And it's overwhelmingly, I own a lot of these. So that is exciting. If I can get through all of these, that will put, I think, 25 books for the Read What You Own challenge or something like that. I don't know. I did write it down, but I don't remember where I wrote it. So yeah, so that's exciting. But yeah, let's get into my massive TBR. So the first little grouping of books here we have is category romance series. So these are category romance books, Harlequin books, Mills and Boon, for those of you in the UK, that are part of series. So the first one that I have here is Hold Me Cowboy by Maisey Yates. This is a desire novel. It is the second book in the Cooper Ridge Desire series. I am reading book 1 as I film this, not as I film this, at the same time that I'm reading it today. Let's say that. And I do not own this one though, the second book, and I will be borrowing it from the library to read. The next one I have is Moonlight, Menorahs, and Mistletoe by Wendy Warren. This is the first book in the Holiday Oregon series. I do own a copy of this one on my Kobo, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. I said this is all Christmas, but it's actually all holiday. I do have a couple of Hanukkah books in here as well, so I'm super excited to get to those as well. And this is one of those Hanukkah books, I believe, Menorah, and Mistletoe. So it might be a Christmas, Hanukkah kind of joint book, maybe. I don't know. I'm looking forward to reading it. Then we have and that's a special edition novel. Then we have a Harlequin romance novel called A Princess by Christmas by Jennifer Faye. This is the first book in the Twin Princes of Menorahs series. I believe this is just a duology. So I'm going to read the first book in December, hopefully, and then I can get to book 2 in January and finish off the duology, which will be fantastic. I do own that one as well, on the Harlequin, as a Harlequin ebook. And then I have a love-inspired novel, An Amish Proposal for Christmas by Vannetta Chapman. This is the first book in the Indiana Amish Market series. This one I also own as a Harlequin ebook. And then I have a special edition novel, another special edition novel, A Baby for Christmas by Joanna Sims. This is the first book in the Brands of Montana series. I do not own this. I'm borrowing this one from the library. Now, that all being said, you guys might be a little confused because I read the first book in the Brands of Montana series called A Match Made in Montana. It was not, in fact, the first book in the series. Harlequin, the Harlequin website, steered me wrong. And I mentioned this in my vlog that you guys will be seeing coming up this week, that it's always best to check several places when you're especially dealing with category romance series, because there are places that are incorrect. And when I went on Fantastic Fiction, because when I read A Match Made in Montana, I felt like I was missing something. There were stories that had already been told, and I'm like, but this is listed as number 1. I don't understand. So I went on Fantastic Fiction, and lo and behold, there are 3 books that come before the one that I read, but they're not numbered. They're unnumbered. But if you go on Goodreads, they're numbered. So, I mean, that's 3 different places that are giving 3 different bits of information. So I'm going back to read this one, and I'm calling it book number 1. And just for the sake of argument, and luckily it's a Christmas book, so I get to it in December. The next grouping of books here I have is my category romance standalone novels. So these are books that are not part of a series. And the first one that we have is a historical novel. And this is Unwrapping the Rancher's Secret by Lauri Robinson. I love Lauri Robinson's books. I'm looking forward to getting to this one. I own a copy of this one on my Kobo. And then I have a Presents novel. We have The Bride He Stole for Christmas by Caitlin Cruz. This is, I also own a copy of this one on my Kobo. And then we have The Christmas Switch by Zoey Marie Jackson. This is a love-inspired novel. Also own a copy of this one on my Kobo. And then we have a romantic suspense novel, Christmas Confidential. This is a bind-up of 2 shorter stories by Marilyn, Pappano, and Linda Conrad. This one I own as a Harlequin ebook. And then we have a Blaze novel, another kind of bind-up, if you will, Wild Holiday Nights by Samantha Hunter, Meg Maguire, and Debbi Rawlins. Also own a copy of this one as a Harlequin ebook, and I cannot wait to get to all of those. They're going to be great. Now, the one thing I have on my shelf, my physical shelf, my Harlequin shelf, is a lot of these bind-ups. And those of you who've been watching for a little while know that I got a very special gift in the mail about a month ago from the lovely and talented author Amy Andrews, and she sent me this bind-up for the Harlequin, or the Mills and Boon 50th anniversary in Australia. And the other 3 might be coming my way, which is very exciting because this was 4 separate books. So anyway, I'm very excited about that. If you can hear that in the background, that's Presley. He's decided this is the perfect time to give himself a bath. So I do apologize. So anyway, I realized that I want to read this one in January, and I kind of want to start reading some of these other bind-ups that I have. So I pulled a bind-up off of my shelf, and these are 2 separate novels. So this is A Stone Creek Christmas by Linda Lael Miller. So there are 2 books in here, and I'll be reading both of them in December. So the first one, as I said, is A Stone Creek Christmas by Linda Lael Miller. It is actually the 4th book in a Stone Creek novel series. I'll eventually go back and read the first 3 and the rest of the books in the series, but I'm going to start with that one. And then the second book in this bind-up is called A Cowboy's Wish Upon a Star by Caro Carson, which is the 5th book in the Texas Rescue series. It's also a holiday-themed book. I will have put the actual covers of both books up here, because this is obviously not how they originally came, but I'm looking forward to getting to both of those. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Let me put that down there. Now let's get into the cozy mysteries that I'm going to be reading in the month of December. So the first one is We Wish You a Murderous Christmas by Vicki Delaney, the second book in the year-round Christmas mystery series. I do not own a copy of this one. I'm borrowing the audio from the library for this one. I am currently listening to the first book right now, so yay to get to that one. The next one is Baking Spirits Bright by Sarah Fox, which is the second book in the True Confections mystery series. I read book 1 in November. Looking forward to getting to book 2. Again, I will be borrowing a copy of this one from the library. And last but not least, Apple Cider Slang by Julianne Lindsey. This is a reread for me, but I do own a copy of it. And this is the first book in the Cider Shop mystery series, and it is a Christmas-themed book. This is a trilogy. I want to reread through the trilogy, so I'll probably finish this one in February. I'll read January. I'll read it December, January, February, and get the trilogy done. Again, but I do really love it. It's Julianne Lindsey. She writes some great books. The next set here is some romance series that I want to read. So the first one I have that I own a copy of is Christmas at Colt's Creek by Dolores Fawson. This is the second book in the Last Ride Texas series. I read book 1 in November. Looking forward to reading book number 2. And then we have Mistletoe Cottage by Debbi Mason. This is the first book in the Harmony Harbor series. I own a copy of this one as well, and we'll be reading it in December. There's also a novella that comes after it that I also own that I'm including. So I'm going to read that book, book 1, and the novella, which is only like 50 pages. And the novella is called Christmas with an Angel, also, of course, by Debbi Mason, book 1.5 in the Harmony Harbor series. And last but not least, Christmas on Mistletoe Lane by Annie Raines, the first book in the Sweetwater Spring series. I also own a copy of this one, so looking forward to getting to that as well. Then we have the extra books, and I have a bunch of them. So these are all just kind of fun books that I hope to get to. There's a bunch of them here. So some of these I was unable to purchase prior to the start of the Read What You Own Challenge. So yeah, so the first one that we have here is for my Sarah Morgan holiday read-along that I am co-hosting with the lovely Fiona over at Reads and Eats. And the book that I will be reading is The Holiday Cottage by Sarah Morgan. Looking forward to getting to this one. I love Sarah Morgan. I love her Christmas books. I cannot wait to get to this one. Again, sorry if you can hear Presley in the background. He's got a little bit of a sinus infection that we're kind of dealing with, so he's coughing a little bit. I do apologize. Poor guy. I feel so bad for him. You okay, sir? You okay? Hold on. Sorry about that. So the next book that I had is One Big Happy Family by Susan Mallory. A lot of you, when I showed this one, said that you had read it as well and that you really, really enjoyed it. So that makes me very happy and I cannot wait to get to it. Susan Mallory, I love her work. I haven't read her in a while and I'm looking forward to getting to her new Christmas one. And then we have one that I got super excited about. Now, I saw this one at the library and I bought a copy of it. And I cannot wait to read it because there was like a massive hold on it. And I'm just like, I'm going to use an Audible credit and get a copy of it. Sarah Morgan Thayer wrote books a while ago. She wrote a series called Alaskan Springs or something like that. And it was delightful. It was supposed to be a 4-book series, but only 3 books came out because sadly, I think either as she was writing book 4 or prior to starting book 4, her husband died unexpectedly. I think in a motorcycle accident. Very heartbreaking. And she kind of course, stopped writing and whatever. And it's funny because a couple weeks ago I was thinking about her. I'm like, I haven't seen one of, I wonder what she's doing. And then I happened upon to see this book at the library. And I got super excited. And it's called The Christmas You Found Me, again by Sarah Morgan Thayer. And this is the first book in the Hearts of the Wilderness series. So I don't think she's going to be finishing that Alaskan Spring series for obvious reasons, in my opinion. To go back and write book 4 might be very difficult for her, especially if she was writing it when her husband passed away, I understand. But I'm super excited to see a new book from her. She writes with such good humor and all kinds. This one's about a single dad, and I saw it, and I just thought, I have to read it. So like I said, I used an Audible credit, and I cannot wait to get to it. The next one is another reread. I haven't read this one in a while, and I kind of really wanted to read it again. It's not a terribly long book, considering this author usually writes terribly long books. Comes in at under 300 pages, and this is Christmas, a biography by Judith Flanders. So this is a nonfiction. I plan on reading a nonfiction in December, and I cannot wait to get to it. So yay on that one. The next one we have here is The Holiday Honeymoon Switch, and this is by Julie McKay. This is being labeled as The Holiday Meets the Unhoneymooners. So I talked about this one in one of my vlogs. Looking forward to getting to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then we have The Christmas Countdown by Holly Cassidy. I talked about this one in a vlog as well, and I cannot wait to get to this one. It looks like it's going to be really, really good. There's a cat in it. If there's a cat in it, of course it's going to be good. Some of you may disagree with me, but I'm right. Now, the next ones we have here, I have all on audio, except for one, and I'm looking forward to them. So the first one is, I've bought all of the, I bought 2 of these recently. I was enabled to purchase them on audio. And the first one is Christmas with the Queen by Hazel Gaynor and Heather Webb. This is a historical fiction novel about Queen Elizabeth doing her Christmas speech the year after her father dies, like when she first becomes queen, I guess. And I saw this one on Facebook because I am friends on Facebook with Donna Jones Alward, who wrote the When the World Fell Silent, about the Halifax explosion. She's a Canadian author. She lives down east. And she talked about this one because it had just been released. And I thought, oh, that sounds so good. So I grabbed a copy of it on audio, and I'm looking forward to getting to it. I've got a lot of romance here, so it's going to be nice to kind of throw a little bit of other things into the mix, like the nonfiction and the and this one as a historical fiction. I think it'll be really good. The next one I have is another Hanukkah book, and I was enabled, I think it was my friend Barb who was reading this one during a reading sprint. I looked it up and it looked really good, so I grabbed a copy on audio, and it's called Love You Alatka by Amanda Elliott. So I am looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be really good. And then I own a couple of books on audio that I decided to, I own this one on audio, and I think it was B over at Mama Loves to Read Romance was talking about this book, and it looked really good, and I owned it on Kobo Audio. And this is Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison, the first book in the Love Light series. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. This one, the next one I bought, again on a whim. I saw it come up somewhere. I think I was looking at a list on Goodreads of all the holiday books that were coming out, and this one jumped out at me, and I've read this author before, and I really like her stuff. And this is Make the Season Bright by Ashley Herring Blake. She wrote I think it was a trilogy. And they're female romances. So I'm looking forward to this one. I think this is a second chance romance. And yeah, I love the cover of it. I think it looks delightful. And like I said, I've read this author before and I really like her stuff. And I saw this one and I thought this is going to be a great read. And then the second last one I have here is How My Neighbor Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn. I am looking forward to this one. It's a chunker, but I do have a copy on audio, so I will be listening to it. But I did buy a copy because I just absolutely love the cover. It is delightful, and I think that this was a special edition, and that there are pictures inside. Yes, there are. Hold on. This one came with drawings, so I'll show you guys. So yeah, so a nice, hopefully I enjoy this. I'm sure I will. I think it's going to be great. And other than the Babysitters Club books, the last one I wanted to show you guys, I'd almost forgotten about. And then I was cleaning out some stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like putting away some stuff from the hospital because I still have everything kind of, it's not been a priority, you guys. Like all the stuff that I brought with me, like all my clothes have been washed, but like it's all the other little random things that I haven't put away yet. So when I was in a hospital, when my friend Rick and I used to go across the street to the bookstore, it was in mid-September, I think it was. I don't remember the exact date I bought this. But they had the display out. They started a display for Christmas books and Halloween books. Because, of course, that's how retail works. And I saw this book and I went, oh my gosh, it's an Advent romance book. And immediately, I didn't even look to see what it was about. I'm like, I need to purchase that book. So I bought it. And this is A Heart for Christmas by Sophie Jorman. Jomain? So that's the book. Obviously, this is not something you're going to get on ebook or on audiobook because it comes. So every day you open up so there's day one and it's sealed. So you have to pop it open and it shows you pop it open and then you read the pages and it's 24 different chapters. And I was so excited. I'm like, this sounds so good. So I went to the counter with it, and the proprietor of the store, the gentleman with the fun mustache that I've talked about before, he's like, oh my gosh, I am so glad you found this book. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Great. Thank you. I purchased it, and away we go. And I got back to my room at the hospital. I'm like, I should really see what that book is about. My name is April. This is a YA romance, by the way. My name is April. I'm 18 years old, and I was born with what could have been a fatal heart defect. Sound familiar? Although I'm not 18. I'm much older than 18. I received a heart transplant not quite 2 years ago. And since then, my life has changed. This year, I'm spending Christmas with my father in the Alps, as you do. And with a body I need to reawaken. But I'm so scared of damaging. It's terrifying. But I want to believe in miracles. And maybe I should, because not long after arriving, I see Augustine for the first time in years, and everything gets turned upside down. My life is only just beginning, I'm sure of it. So it's about a girl who gets a heart transplant, and she is afraid to do anything. She's afraid of hurting herself, which I can kind of understand. I'm a bit of the opposite. I'm like, I want to do all the things within reason, but I understand her thought process. So, and now I understand why that man was like, I'm so glad you found this book. So, yay, I am really looking forward to it. Like, this just came out this year, and I'm like, I was meant to read this. So, yeah. So that, you guys, is my massive December TBR. Let me know in the comments below, have you read any of these? What did you think about them? Have I piqued your interest with any of them? Are there any that you might pick up in December? Let's talk about all the things. And until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys.